This lecture is going to cover starts, turns, jumps, and dives when it comes to aquatics. So for competitive starts, most of the time they're going to be using a race block to be able to do their jumps off of. Now, very kind of dependent on what stroke that you're doing, but most of the time they're in a set position, which is this upper picture here. When they do their push off, they have their entry, which then leads to their streamline, which is the most effective way to enter the water. And then they will start their stroke that they're competing in. So to get a little bit of more information, go ahead and pause this and check out D2L for the entries for swimming video and review that video. When covering diving in the pool, it is important to note that American Red Cross mandates that the depth be at least 9 feet before practicing any headfirst entry. Then the progressions of the dive really start with sitting on the edge, then kneeling on the edge, doing a compact dive, kind of like in a lunge position, then a standing dive, and then eventually transitioning to diving off the block and performing either a track start, or if you're doing a backstroke, then doing a backstroke curl or a flat back start from the blocks. So if we look here for the diving progressions, again, the best way to start teaching someone how to dive is definitely from a seated position, just sitting on the pool deck wall on the edge with their feet on either the edge, depending on what the edge of your pool platform is, or their feet just in the water. And really extending their arms over the head, getting that really nice, tight, streamlined position, right? With their arms pushed in their ears or even their head tucked and their arms tightly behind it. 2 hands on top with their chin tucked. And you're really looking for a surface kind of entry into that water around about 45 degrees. So leaning forward and just trying to think of touching the water with your fingers first and then push with your legs off. Straighten your body into that streamlined position. Next, you get into a kneeling dive, which typically you'll pick whatever your favorite foot is to have up, and then the other leg you would be on your knee. And that foot that is up, you want to make sure that you have your toes kind of curling over the edge of the pool wall. Again, extending those arms overhead, perfect streamlined position, focusing on a target on the surface of the water. You can actually put either a noodle for them to kind of lunge forward to help decrease how deep they're going to get that shallow dive, or you can also put a hula hoop on top of the surface to have them dive through the hula hoop. So they have to reach out, and going out instead of straight down is going to decrease that shallow surface angle when going in. So then you lean forward, try to touch that water, and then push off with your legs, enter the water, thinking about entering your hands, elbows, shoulders, and head first, and then all the way through the rest of your body. Since we know the streamlined position is the most effective way to travel through the water, it's important to also know that there's various turns that you can use when you're swimming beyond just those 25 yards. We've already practiced some of these. The 4 key elements when doing aquatic turns based upon the swim stroke is really your approach of when, where, and how to prepare for that turn, the exchange of your momentum into the wall and then pushing off in the other direction, your streamline position off the wall, and then your breakout, which transitions from streamline back to the swim stroke that you are swimming. The open turn is the most basic and functional turn. That's really one-handed. The 2-hand touch turn is what we've been kind of practicing and trying to be better at to get more power and more efficiency off of the wall. And then there's also a flip turn as well. So if we go back to D2L, again, under our swim strokes module, there's going to be a video all about various types of turns to really increase power and efficiency when swimming beyond one length of a swim stroke. So go ahead and check that out. And then our last slide really covers 2 feet first jumps, which typically are taught to lifeguards, but I think are really beneficial because they are the safest way to enter the water, especially if you can't see the bottom. So if you're jumping into a lake or a river or anything that you're unsure of what's underneath you, these are definitely your two best bets for jumping into the water. First one is a compact jump, and this one you want to really kind of bring your knees to your chest, is the picture in this upper right. And typically they have a lifeguard too, but typically you have your arms out extended to the side, and as you kind of enter the water, you want to think about pushing your feet down and kind of sweeping your arms down as well. And this should allow you to not go too deep into the water and be able to jump in safely. The stride jump is when you take a long stride or leap from the edge of the pool, arms are to your side, and as your feet enter, you actually produce that scissor kick. So whatever foot is in the front, foot in the back, you then try to bring them together. That scissor kick, as you enter the water, will lift you up, keeping your head above the water, and then you're able to kind of sweep the water down and back as your upper body enters the water as well. All right, that covers some different turns, jumps, and starts for aquatics. Don't forget to check out the D2L videos to get more in depth with visuals and a breakdown of each of these. Thanks.